Princess and the Goose Girl. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a beautiful princess named Rosalind. She was kind, gentle, and loved by all. One day, she was to be married to a prince in a neighboring kingdom. Her mother, the queen, gave her a magical handkerchief for protection on her journey. With a heavy heart and a sense of adventure, Princess Rosalind set off with her trusted maid, Greta, and a horse named Falada. As they traveled through forests and fields, the maid Greta grew envious of the princess. She wanted to take Rosalind's place and become a princess herself. When they reached a deep, dark forest, Greta decided to PT her plan into action. Greta demanded that Rosalind exchange clothes with her. The kind princess, fearing harm, reluctantly agreed. Greta then forced Rosalind to swear she would never reveal her true identity. With the princess now dressed as a maid, Greta took the magical handkerchief and threw it into a stream, ensuring no one could undo her deception. When they finally arrived at the prince's castle, Greta, now dressed as a princess, was welcomed with open arms. Rosalind, dressed as a maid, was ignored and left alone. Greta told the prince that Rosalind was her servant and should be put to work tending the geese. The prince agreed, and Rosalind was given the humble task of caring for the geese alongside a boy named Conrad. Despite her misfortune, Rosalind remained kind and gentle. She tended the geese with care and made friends with Conrad. Every day, she would sit by a magical stream where she could talk to her horse, Falada, who had been enchanted by the queen to speak. Falada would comfort her and give her hope. Conrad noticed that every time Rosalind brushed her golden hair, the wind would seem to play with it, making it sparkle in the sunlight. He grew curious about her true identity, but didn't dare to ask. One day, the king was walking by the meadow and saw Rosalind tending the geese. He noticed her grace and kindness and was struck by her beauty. He asked Conrad about the girl, and Conrad shared his observations about the magical stream and the talking horse. Intrigued, the king decided to investigate. He hid behind a tree near the stream and watched as Rosalind spoke to Falada. He heard their conversation and realized that Rosalind was not an ordinary goose girl, but someone special. The king called Rosalind to his chamber and gently asked her about her story. Bound by her oath, Rosalind could not speak the truth. The king, sensing her reluctance, ordered a large iron stove to be heated and told her to confide in it instead. Rosalind, thinking no harm could come from speaking to an inanimate object, revealed her true identity and the wicked deeds of Greta. The king, having heard everything, was furious with Greta. He summoned her to the court and exposed her lies. Greta, realizing her plan had failed, tried to escape but was captured. The king reinstated Rosalind to her rightful place as a princess. The prince, upon learning the truth, was overjoyed and asked for her forgiveness. They were married in a grand ceremony, and the entire kingdom celebrated. As for Greta, she was banished from the kingdom, and the magical handkerchief was retrieved from the stream. Peace and happiness returned to the kingdom, and Princess Rosalind ruled with kindness and wisdom, never forgetting her humble days as a goose girl. The Princess and the Goose Girl teaches us that true nobility comes from within. Despite her trials, Rosalind remained kind and gentle, and her true character shone through. It reminds us that honesty, kindness, and inner strength are more valuable than outward appearances, and that justice will eventually prevail for those who stay true to themselves.